Hi folks, welcome to Pentaho BA tutorials. In this video, we would see how to work with cascading parameters. Let us see what is cascading parameters. Cascading parameter means the list of values for one parameter depends on the value chosen in its preceding parameter. For instance, let us assume we have three parameters called as country, state, and city. As we know, state will depend on country and city will depend on state and country. If the value of the state depends on the value of country, then we call state is cascaded to country. Similarly, if the value of city depends on the value of state and country, we call city is cascaded to state. So we would see how to implement this concept in Pentaho C tools. From the menu bar, click on File, then New, then CDE Dashboard. Let us save this dashboard with cascading selections name. Click on Save button. It will open the pop-up window. To choose the folder from Public, select Cascading Select, give a name. For example, I am saving this dashboard as Cascading Parameters. The title and the description is optional. Let us quickly create the layout for the labels and the selections for all the parameters. Click on row, give a name as row. Then, as we have three parameters, we would require three labels and three selections. So this row will be divided into 6 columns: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let us name all of them. Row, this is column country label. Then give the size for all the devices as 2, 2, 2. Column country selection 2, 2, 2 and 2. Similarly, what I would do, I would remove all of the below 4 and I will use the utility of copy paste. So let us copy this column by clicking on this copy duplicate utility. So we have 2, 4, 5, 6. So we can move these columns by dragging and dropping like this. Country label should be on top. Then just rename all of these names: column state label, then column state selection, column city label, then column city selection. Let us add HTML for the labels. by using the utility of add HTML from the icon bar. So here let us directly give the name, select country, then state label, select state, then for the city add it as select city. So we are done with the layout creation. Now let us move to either components panel or data sources. So let us move to the components panels to create parameters and the selections. In the layout section, the names of all the columns we call it as HTML objects. So switch to the components panel and create 3 parameters. The parameter type should be simple in our example. Param country, then param state. You can move these parameters up and down by clicking on these buttons. Then add one more parameter called as city. Save. So now let us add selects for these 3 parameters. Selects, from the list of selections we would be using select component. It would add select group here and give the names for first select country. Then this select should be taking country parameters. Similarly, add listeners and parameters. So param country for the as the listener, then add the parameter again, country. Click OK. Similarly, add 2 other select components for state parameter and city parameter. So let us create another select for the state select state. The parameter would be param state, and listeners for the country we don't require any listeners, so let us not take for the first one. But for the state, as the query requires to input the value of the country to get the states from it, we would be using listener as country parameter as well as state parameter. So let us make this component listen by param country and param state and add these parameters in this array box. Country, state, click OK. And we have not added data sources yet, but we have HTML objects to keep these selects on the screen. So for the country, the HTML object would be column country selection, and for the state it would be column state selection. So we are left with one more selection to be added in selects group. So either you can copy paste this one, or as usual from the selects you can click on the select component. So let us click on select component. Give name as select city. So this select should be listened by param city. Sorry, this select component should be taking param city parameter, and it should be listened by country parameter as well as state parameter. So let us add those two parameters here, country and state as well as city. The third parameter we are adding as soon as we select state, this parameter should be listened by its own parameter as well as the parent parameters. So here add all of the three in a sequence. Here it would be state, the second one, and add its own parameter, which is param city. Click OK. So as soon as you make the changes, it is always a best practice to save the dashboard. So now we have all the parameters in place and all the select components in place. So let us quickly cross verify param country, param state and param city. And for the country selection we have param country, and this should be listened by its own parameter. Okay. Then state should be listened by country as well as its own parameter. Okay, that's perfect. And for the parameter it should be taking 2, and for the city selection it should take all of the 3, and the HTML object for this city component is column city selection. Now let us add queries for all of these 3 parameters. So switch to the data source panel, and from the list of data sources navigate to SQL queries option, and I'm going to use SQL over SQL JDBC. So query country, then the driver class name. So as I'm using PostgreSQL server, I'm going to use this driver class name. In the password, and password is Postgres and username is Postgres. Before that we should know what is the database we are using. We are using Pudma database. So let us take this URL for the PostgreSQL server and keep it in the URL option here. Now the username and password is Postgres and Postgres, and the query for this parameter is this one. Control C, then paste the query here. Save again. So this query, it is not required to be listened by any parameter here, so we leave this as empty. Now add the state parameter. So query state, then the driver, password, username and all are same, and URL is also same, and query should be this one. And replace this hard-coded value with the country parameter name, dollar, then param country. You need to add the same parameter externally for the parameters property, which is beneath the query. Parent country, parent country. Click OK. Then one more query we are left with, that is city query. So I am going to duplicate this one, and here it would be query city. Keep the position at the end so that we can easily understand, and use city query in the query editor. So replace these hard-coded values with the parameter names dollar param country, and here it would be dollar param state. Click OK, save. Now switch back to the components panel. Give the data sources for all of the selection. For the select country, the data source should be query country. Okay, save it again. Query country, and then for the state it would be query state, and for the city it would be query city. So that's all we have to do now to work out with the cascading parameters. So let us verify whether we are getting the right output or not. Before that, I could see here the listeners are not configured. Let us configure listeners for this city component. So this city component should be listened by all of the three parameters. Click OK and save. Let us cross verify these queries again and the parameters. So that's all we have to do. Let us preview it. So click on this preview button at the end. You could see the dashboard is populated with the labels and the selections. So for the country query and select query, I am using something like dashed value. Why? Because when we have single value, and when we do a selection of single value, the dependent parameter would not get effect on the dashboard. To overcome that issue, I am using a dashed value. Now from the select country selection, click on any of the available country. So let us click on USA. The second parameter value should get populated. If you click on this drop down, you could see all the states from USA is get populated. Now as soon as you make selection from this values, the other parameter values would get populated. So let us select CES state. You would see something strange. Select city is not working here. Or so let us go back to the dashboard and let us see. So here for the city query we have not added the state parameter. So let us add that one as well. State. Okay. Save the dashboard again. Unless you save, the values on the preview will not get effect. So preview the dashboard again. So make the selection for the country. The second parameter values could will get will get populated with the states of the USA, which are nothing but ORCA WA from our database. So let us make a WA selection now. You would see the values for this electricity get populated with the cities available in WA state. And similarly, if you select any other city, you could see the changes in the third one. Similarly, eh, for Mexico country, you would see nothing in the two other parameters, and as soon as you make the selection of the state, the values in the third parameter will get populated with the available cities in DF state. So this is how we can implement cascading concept in Pentaho tools. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Let us meet in next learning. Thank you.